the family favorite, the Kia Sorento, has leveled up. This is the 2025 Sorento Turbo Hybrid. I'm Yuli Ang, this is CarGuide.PH, and here's our first look. I'm sure you like what you're seeing because 2025 Kia has upgraded the Sorento inside and out. Now let's talk about the design first. Up front, the entire front end has been changed. That actually gives the new Sorento a shorter front overhang, giving it better proportions than ever before. In terms of details, it gets a new hood, and that gives it a more upright stance. And because of that, it necessitated a change in the headlight design. Now, if you're aware with Kia's design efforts the past few years, the Sorento fits into that family. Similar to the EV6 and EV9, maybe also the Seltos and the Sonnet, the vertically stacked LED headlights are there, as well as the Tiger nose grille. Of course, this necessitated a change also in the front bumper, and this time around, they've integrated a full-length skid plate that wasn't there before. Towards the side, and a lot of people don't talk about this, the fender garnish is now more 3D, more robust than ever before. And in terms of design elements, a lot of them are functional. For example, you get load-bearing roof rails. So if you're into the outdoor market, if you want to put things like a bike rack, that is possible because the roof rails can actually accommodate crossbars. You also get 19-inch alloy wheels as standard. Towards the back, you get completely redesigned rear end as well. The rear combination lamps have been changed to make it look more seamless than ever before. The rear bumpers have also been changed to also get the same full-length skid plate design. And of course, one of the design elements I like the most is that the rear wiper still continues to be hidden by the rear spoiler. In terms of colors, there are 4 colors to choose from, and the hero color is the one right here. This is Volcanic Sand Brown. You know that Kia is on a mission when they've extensively updated the Sorento Turbo Hybrid's interior for 2025. Now, compared to the old one, almost the entire cabin has been changed, and it's very clear when you sit inside and see the gauge clusters for the first time. It's two 2.3-inch gauge clusters, and it's all digital. The gauge cluster itself for the driver is customizable, so you can change it to different modes, or you can even link it to your preferred driving mode. Towards the center, you get Kia's latest infotainment system. It's all touch-based, but it's still relatively easy to use, and I like it because the menus are not more than 2 sub-menus deep. So if you're looking for a specific command or what have you, it's very easy to navigate it. It's also very intuitive, and it speaks in plain English, which is very important if you're not so techy out there. Another change is the ambient lighting system, which has debuted in the local spec Sorento for the first time. The ambient lighting system gives a more sense of drama, gives a more sense of calmness if you want, especially when you're driving at night or in low light conditions. And of course, if you prefer to let the sun in, the Sorento still has a panoramic sunroof that expands from the first almost all the way to the 3rd row. That aside, you also get a redesigned climate control system. Now, what's different about this system, and it's something that we've seen in the Carnival Turbo Hybrid as well, is that it's dual purpose. It operates both the climate controls and its dual zone with a separate rear blower for the 3rd row. But aside from controlling the different functions of the climate control, it also acts as the infotainment system. So the functions will switch between searching for a track or skipping an unwanted song to making the cabin colder or hotter. From the interior tech, let's talk about craftsmanship. For 2025, Kia has stuck it out and given the Sorento Turbo Hybrid a light, airy cabin feel. You can see it in this grayish beige color scheme that runs through the lower part of the cabin. It gives everything a lighter, airier feel compared to other SUVs out there. And I like it because it's certainly more appealing for those looking for something a bit more sophisticated. For 2025, Kia Kia has done some minute changes and detailed changes to the Sorento. For example, they've updated the rotary dial system right here, and this acts as your gear shifter. Below that, you get the drive and terrain controls. It's one knob, by the way, so you can switch between the drive and terrain mode whenever you want to. And I like the fact that they kept physical controls to the most used controls for the Sorento, things like the 360 camera, the auto hold and stuff like that. You don't have to fiddle through the touchscreen to access them because it's all right here. Now, for the driver, he gets a 2 memory seat system that goes with the 8-way power adjust with ventilation for the front seats. And for the first time ever, the passenger also gets adjustable lumbar support. Now, it's something that we don't usually talk about, but for all of you out there who have bad backs and what have you, that's actually quite perfect because that makes the Sorento Turbo Hybrid a better long-distance driving car. Now, for all you audiophiles out there, you also get a Bose sound system for the first time in the Sorento as well. Now, as you climb aboard the second row, you would notice the wealth of space. You would notice things like the flat rear floor. So that means 3 people can sit here abreast without any fighting or wrangling for knee room. But where did the battery go? That's the beauty of Kia's packaging design, because the 1.49 kilowatt hour lithium-ion battery is actually tucked right beneath the second row seats, and then actually also frees up more legroom in the third row. In terms of features, right here in the second row, you get things like the rear aircon vents, and in traditional Kia designs that we've seen in the past, power adjustment for the front passenger seat right here, conveniently located in case you want to move your front seat forward and back, and USB charging ports conveniently located right here near the pockets so that you can actually put your phone here and charge without having any of these spaghetti wires lying around and potentially tripping anyone. Now we'll get to the third row. Now, for all of you grandparents, yayas, and even kids watching this video, well, I've got good news for you because the third row is actually very comfortable right here in the Kia Sorento Turbo Hybrid. First of all, the step-in height is actually not that high because of the monocoque design. Compared to other SUVs there with a side step board that will require you to reach in, right? This one is fairly easy, and take note, I'm stepping into the ground and one leg is already right here. Another thing is that there's a clever grip here so that you can easily pull yourself into the third row, as so. And of course, for all of you that would care about the legroom, as you can see, it's actually quite good. This is probably the biggest news for the Sorento this 2025. There's no more diesel. In its place, you get a 1.6-liter turbocharged engine that's electrified. And overall, it gives you 235 PS of power. That's actually more than the outgoing turbo diesel. And the torque is actually at 367 Newton meters, and that's pretty good. Now, what Kia has done differently compared to other hybrid systems is that the electric motor is actually mounted in line with the transmission and the combustion engine. What this means is that the electric motor can come in and come out, giving you propulsion or assist depending not just on the speed but on the particular driving situation. For example, unlike other hybrids out there, this one can be driven at speeds up to 80 kilometers per hour in pure electric mode. Now, the 6-speed automatic and the electrification technology has also unlocked several driving modes for the Sorento Turbo Hybrid. For example, there are 3 on-road driving modes that you can choose from. That's Eco, Sport, and Smart. Smart meaning the car is able to determine, depending on how you drive, what sort of mode it'll go in. It also has 3 terrain modes that you can select from: snow, mud, and sand. Again, it doesn't give full locking differentials and all that, and that's not the point. What's more important is that it gives you additional confidence or sure-footedness when you're handling that sort of terrain. Now, what's amazing is that because of the way the engine, the transmission, and the electric motor are all in line, Kia has made sure that things like brake regen have been put to good use. I can actually control the amount of brake regen by just the flappy paddles right here on the steering wheel. And there's even a smart regen mode where it uses information from the forward camera to detect obstacles ahead and adjust the level of regen braking that is required, or to maximize the amount of regen brake required. Now, in terms of handling, the Sorento is still available in both two-wheel drive and all-wheel drive variants. In this case, the top-of-the-line SX, the all-wheel drive system still uses a mechanical propeller shaft and a rear differential. But what's amazing is that Kia has actually leveraged their electrification technology to improve its ride and handling. Kia calls this the EVMC, or Electrification Vehicle Motion Control. What happens is that the electric motor acts as a clever way to control torque so that it controls pitching forward and back. So whenever you do hard braking or hard acceleration, it also controls those little minute movements as the car is, for example, shifting gears, or when it detects you going over a hump or a bump. When it comes to more difficult maneuvers, it also gives the Kia Sorento Turbo Hybrid better sure-footedness because it is able to precisely control the amount of torque that is sent not just to both wheels, but it also counteracts any or too much force sending onto one set of wheels, preventing things like understeer. This would be perfect for emergency maneuvers like the Moose Test. Now combine that with the Sorento's monocoque or unibody construction and 19-inch alloy wheels, and you have one of the safest SUVs that you can buy for this price point. Now, let's talk about safety. In terms of safety, for 2025, the DriveWise system has actually been improved. So no longer is it limited to just forward-looking ones, so things like forward collision warning, lane keep assist, and all that, they're still there. But what's amazing is that they've now included blind spot indicators, safe exit warning, and even a 360-degree camera if you're not too sure about your parking skills. The launch of the Kia Sorento Turbo Hybrid, like the launch of the Carnival Turbo Hybrid last December, starts the Kia movement right here in the Philippines. What does that all mean? Well, it simply means that Kia Philippines will be offering a wide range of powertrains, whether it's internal combustion engine, full electric, and of course, a hybrid, depending on the needs and wants of the Filipino consumer. Now, if you're wondering how much the Kia Sorento Turbo Hybrid costs, well, it starts at 2.2 million pesos. Not bad because it's a fully loaded 7-seater mid-sized SUV that's also number coding and delivers both power and performance. It comes with an 8-year battery warranty and is now available for orders at any of the 40 Kia dealerships nationwide.